3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome back to the Ultra Films channel. Today we're going to be breaking down the Multiverse of Madness trailer that aired just a little bit ago, giving our live reaction, and then breaking it down and doing a character clash of who we think is going to be in this movie. Let's do it.
Every night, I dream the same dream.
I dreamed a dream. I'm just kidding, I'm not going to say that.
The nightmare begins.
Nightmare? Does that mean we're gonna get nightmare?
Did what I had to do
No, Mephisto.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
to protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange.
Same ring.
Open the doorway between universes.
He has that little like defender symbol on his cape. It's like a little patch.
Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
Oh, the Minotaur.
It's a Minotaur.
He was
And
right.
the Fog. From the movie The Fog.
I'm sorry, Stephen.
Mordo.
Your desecration of reality
Oh god, the buildings are all destroyed.
will not go unpunished.
Ultron bots.
Yep.
We should tell him the truth.
Oh,
Oh, who's that voice?
we know who that is.
Who was it?
Dinosaurs. Are
Magneto?
they the Savage Lands?
That would be the Savage Lands, yeah.
I think so.
Things just got out of hand.
Sinister Strange. We got Monica Rambeau.
Yep. You break the
become a hero.
rules. You become a hero.
I do it, I become the enemy.
Uh-oh. She seems upset about that.
It doesn't seem fair.
That's unfair.
Zombie Strange.
Oh no.
May 6th.
Oh
May 6th.
boy.
A day after Cinco de Mayo.
Bloop. Alright, I gotta bring everything back here.
I have a little bit of a theory, though.
A little
It's
bit of a
not-
theory. Oops.
Our Doctor Strange that caused the multiverse stuff.
It's not our Doctor Strange. What do you mean?
So, you know how the Strange that's talking to our Strange that says things got out of
Things
hand?
just got out of hand. Yes, correct.
Sinister.
He's doing like stuff with like, you know, dark energy,
Chaos magic. it
Mhm.
seems.
chaos magic,
Yes.
and it seems like he's consolidating it into one spell and then slamming it into a book. The
It
book
looks
is
like the dark.
potentially the Darkhold.
Yeah, you might be right.
Now, so there's a chance that that is like him saying like this is how things got out of hand because he was trying to find a way
Oh.
to save Christine in some way, or you know, kind of like
Yeah,
a what if style
interesting.
goings on, because I don't see our Strange getting the Darkhold from Wanda,
No.
Most
and then having-
likely not.
and then having the time to do some kind of magic and learn chaos magic.
That's right. So would you also say that the Strange doing the little casting the snake spell sort of thing that we saw in What If, that's the same sort of time period frame where he's like collecting, you know, these other entities and powers from other mystic beings, and then like ultimately that he gains the power to do that?
Yeah, probably. I would think that's probably the case. I don't think it's the same Strange, so I don't think it's Superior Strange like in What If.
Gotcha.
But I do think it is another version of a Strange that went down the
same
same
sort of path.
kind of path.
Yeah, that would make sense. And then him using that chaos magic is like still like in that progression, and that's like his final step before things go crazy or whatnot.
Yeah, because I actually think that Christine that we see is a variant Christine and not like our current Christine. So like it was some way for that Doctor Strange to potentially stop Christine's wedding to the person that she's marrying.
Yes.
Or like try to win her back in some way.
Interesting.
And then so he's like, well, things just got out of hand.
Yeah.
And then so he was the one that actually opened up like the rifts to the multiverse stuff, which allowed Wanda to start peeking into it because the Darkhold was like connected to it, which then caused Wanda to start looking for her kids even more, but she can't access other multiverses, so she has to have a way to find. Yeah.
Interesting. I like that idea. It also would make sense that like that wedding scene is like in another universe where
Obviously
something has happened there, because Strange in our universe and Christine don't necessarily have that same sort of relationship after he's discovered magic, and like he hadn't talked to her in the 2 years or so that he was training and learning about the mystic arts, and he's probably been too busy defending the Earth and whatnot to continue building a relationship with her at all. So it would make sense that that's happening elsewhere.
Well, yeah, it's obvious.
I'm trying to think. There's another theory video I'm kind of due. We don't see in this trailer, but in the Super Bowl little sneak peek that we got of Defender Strange and America Chavez fighting a monster. We don't see like the exact clip of Defender Strange in this trailer, but theory is that like he sends her to Earth, and like that's the beginning of the film that I'm going to talk about. Where do we think that this would necessarily lie in the turn of events, like when he meets this other version of the Strange, where
So I think it's probably mid-movie.
Okay, interesting.
Like when they're already getting chased by, if our ideas are correct and like that leak things are correct, where he's getting chased by Wanda.
He meets,
or at least the monsters that Wanda is creating. Him and America are being chased, and whoever else is with them.
Yep.
They meet this Strange in whatever dimension that is, left over of his.
Of like, his beat up universe. Yeah. Interesting.
Okay.
And then
he's trying to tell them like, hey man, like
this is what happened.
Things got out of hand.
Okay. And then that sequence of events of him like going outside, and that's why he has like the ripped up cape with like the patch on it or something, and that's a different version that is like becomes this sinister sort of supreme guy. Not that it is Sinister Strange or Supreme Strange or whatever you want to call him. We don't know who it is exactly, but he ultimately goes down that path and becomes the guy who's destroyed his own world. Interesting.
And then not sure, like I think Zombie Strange and this Sinister Strange are completely different entities.
Yeah, I agree.
Just like, there's apparently supposed to be like 6 or 7 different Doctor Stranges in this movie.
Okay.
Like, well, I don't even think like we've seen half of them in the like.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a lot.
The commercials.
Yeah, I think that there are going to be way more versions that we haven't seen. I agree.
And I think the whole reason why this Strange gets caught and like shackled and sent to the Illuminati is because
it's his Wanda. It's
Wanda his
from
Wanda
his
that is doing everything.
Yeah.
And then so it's up to him to solve it, essentially.
Let's do a place your bets really quick, actually. And
Ready, huh?
do we want to guess whether or not we think that there's only one version of Wanda? I know that it's kind of speculated that that's the case, that there is only one Scarlet Witch and that she is it, and that she's going to be the most powerful being in the entire multiverse. Do we agree with that, or do we think that there's going to be multiple versions of the Scarlet Witch?
Well, I mean, I think there's only going to be one Scarlet Witch, but there will be multiple Wanda Maximoff.
See, there's a piece of me that, knowing like the House of M storyline and her searching different multiverses and stuff, makes me wonder if we see her kind of fragmented in one of the shots that like pans into her eye. Part of me wonders if she fragments herself into different like universes, or that like she like breaks off pieces of her soul in like a Horcrux kind of way from Harry Potter, that like at the end of this movie there are multiple Wandas and there's multiple Scarlet Witches or whatever. I don't know for sure, but her like approaching her own self, like that's like either a memory or she's split herself off, which is why she looks so damaged and broken there.
Or she went to another universe where her family was already been built.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting to note that like she's going on a search across the multiverse to find her kids. So they exist somewhere else, and they're her kids. Obviously, like we don't know exactly where they are. We've been kind of asking that question since WandaVision. Does it make sense that like they existed somewhere else and they got pulled into her reality, and then she had to undo it and it sent them back, or did she just create them out of thin air? Like, which side do you guys want to take on that?
What did they say that happened with Ralph Boner? It was basically that body was in this land, but then the ability of Quicksilver was put into him.
Yeah, she
right?
basically gave him the powers. Yeah.
So I think in this instance, Wanda created her children.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
But through multiversal shenanery knew what they looked like.
Interesting. So I think
because she is a multiversal being.
Yes,
like,
she's a Nexus
Scarlet
being.
Witches.
Right. Yeah, that is correct.
So even if she doesn't have the knowledge of all these other universes, like she kind of has like the potential to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Kind of like
see through the glass, like break the fourth wall sort of way.
Sort of. Yeah. Like the symbiotes.
Yeah, like like multiversal knowledge across. It's a hive mind across every dimension, sort of thing.
Multiple universes. Yeah.
Interesting. What do you think about that, Nightwolf? Do you think that she made them out of thin air in Westview, or do you think that they existed somewhere else, or a combination, kind of like Dylan said, that like she knew from seeing them elsewhere?
I'm gonna go with Dylan on this. I think she knew somehow, but like they say that she probably did create it as it, but like I said, during the times of WandaVision, she did not fully unlock her full potential of her power.
Yeah,
pretty much.
She didn't do it at least until the very end of it, which
correct.
Her power, like her power where she created the kids, was done much before she expanded Westview, even before and
plus who knows how much she has learned at that time because of the events of WandaVision. How long has she's been there, meditating, reading the book and all that stuff. How long has she been, getting all that knowledge,
Yeah, we don't know exactly how long of a time gap it is.
It seems like it's about 6 months. I think I remember seeing somewhere in one of the trailers saying it's been like 6 months since Westview.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's probably been a few months. But she's had the Darkhold that whole time, so that's a long.
Yeah, I mean,
6 months is
reading
quite a bit of
Dark
time.
Energy book every day.
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
doing the same thing that Doctor Strange did, reading it in his astral form.
Yeah, like even when she's asleep and stuff, just studying and studying and studying, and also getting the connection I want to bring up that you mentioned earlier is him using chaos magic. It looked like that he had learned somehow through the Darkhold, like. He could have been in contact with Wanda this whole time, and he learned chaos magic through her somehow or something like that.
Like that strange,
And
maybe, but I think he just probably just learned it from himself, pretty much. There's like other ways to get those type of magic from, like just say from Wanda.
Well, technically,
there are other methods to acquire those types of magics.
Yeah, I think she's the only one who is able to use it though. So I'm sure
she's not the only one that's able to use chaos magic, because like Agatha did it, but she was doing it through the ability of reading the Darkhold.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Always remember, Wanda's not the only person in this universe. Other people can use magic as well.
Yeah. I guess you can learn it from the Darkhold, and that's how Agatha used it. I don't actually remember. Did she use chaos magic, or is she just using other forms of dark magic? Because
I think she was using bits of chaos magic, but like
Yeah, she was using the book. Yeah, she was like reading from the book. She pretty much said you're like the next, what was it, the Nexus being?
She said,
Yeah, she's a Nexus being.
Yeah, she's like you're the Scarlet Witch and all that. Yeah, because she read from the book. And then she was using a little bit of the same book as the magic to, like, fight her off.
I think that I'm gonna have to rewatch WandaVision, and obviously that's something we're all gonna have to do to kind of refresh on the events of that.
Just probably more towards the part of, like, when she finally meets Agatha, pretty much.
Yeah. I don't remember if I think Agatha was just using forms of dark magic that she has learned through her witchhood and through the Darkhold. I think that there's a distinction between chaos magic and regular other forms of magic, and it's the coloring that gets it for me. And so
coloring's fair. Yeah.
The red orbs that Strange is using is the same color that Wanda uses every time she's used magic, whereas like Agatha's magic was purple and blackish. Strange's magic has been
Wanda's
green
magic was always like
orange.
was like Wanda's magic is like always not always red sometimes, but like it wasn't like that like dark red. When she fully became the Scarlet, then her red became a little bit more darker.
Yeah, you're right.
Her red was more lighter before she started using before she got in touch with the whole chaos.
Yeah. Well, I think she's always, ever since she at least got in contact with the Mind Stone, it's been that way.
Mm-hmm, correct.
So, what else was I
Because
gonna
she
bring
saw
up?
a silhouette of herself.
Yeah, she saw herself becoming herself. What else was I gonna bring up about the magic stuff? Another magic user's back, Mordo, and we probably will see a couple different versions of him as well. It looks like there's a version that looks like he's on the council, which is the Illuminati. For those of you who don't know,
that's probably he's probably in the spot that Doctor Strange would be in generally.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. He's seemingly filling this void that usually Doctor Strange would hold. The original group of Illuminati is Strange. Reed Richards is Mr. Fantastic. We have Iron Man, Professor X, Namor, and Black Bolt. Those are the OG 6 members that are in the original version of the Illuminati. There's other people that have kind of cycled through as well in different iterations, but that's the main 6. So I don't know exactly if we'll see those 6 straight out the gate or if we'll see other characters. We'll get into that more as we get to the character clash in who we'll predict.
We're all going to see them all in the chairs, pretty much.
But that scene in that courtroom style thing that resembles what are they called? What are the Time Wizards or whatever from Loki? It's like the same sort of layout as like this is the supreme body that rules over the multiverse. Yeah, the Timekeepers. So
no, it's gonna be way different than that.
It's much different, but it's the same sort of like power scheme. Like this is like the hierarchy of it.
I guess. They're
more of a, like, kind of doing the same thing that he at the End of Time did, where they're trying to control things, but I think they step into that spot when, like, he at the End of Time is like, and we just passed him.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree that like they've gained some sort of knowledge, or people have been passing through multiversally, or they've fought Kang even, and they know he's a threat, and so that's the body in the group of people trying to stop that or something, even, or any more multiversal threat, like that being Wanda. So
I'm going to just kind of throw this out. What if instead of getting Namor, because he hasn't been introduced in the series yet, and they want, like, it's going to be hard to keep introducing all these characters without having anybody, like, know what they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Behind.
Yeah.
So instead of having Namor, since he's never been in anything yet, have it be King.
Ooh.
I don't see it.
There's so many different versions.
Or like
though.
a version of Kang that is on the Illuminati.
Yeah, like one of the good versions.
I would say maybe, but I still don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't see it. I don't see it happening.
That would tie in Loki and like all the stuff that Loki has been doing.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, true, but like I said before, like I don't see Loki or Sylvie or King in this movie at all. They're not going to be like the main focus or like the small cameo appearance in here. I don't see them in these movies.
Interesting. Okay.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
Oh.
I'm placing my bets on that one.
I think
I'm just kind of trying to say, because like it is kind of hard to just add 700 new characters.
Yeah.
Without any backstory at it, because we know this movie is going to be about 2.5 hours long.
Yep.
Like it might even end up being closer to three. But like, just because it seems like there's just so much going on, and it's gonna like be
Shift
hard to
everything.
tell a cohesive story without having like everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
I agree with you on that one.
So you
And
might
then
as
just
well.
adding more characters that we have never seen, like doesn't make sense. Like we already have America Chavez.
Yeah.
Like she's gonna be a main character, and we're gonna get some form of backstory out of her.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Like,
We're gonna get
and
different
then they're gonna have to
versions
show
of-
at least a little backstory on each of the Stranges. Not a huge amount, but at least like a 3-minute worth of time.
Yeah.
Like
For each one.
for each one. So if we have 10 Stranges,
That's 30 minutes.
like
Yeah. Especially like in the different versions of Mordo, if there's more than one. And every single
I
person on the
think
Illuminati.
there's only gonna be one more. That's just the Mortal that's just gonna send them into the Illuminati, pretty much.
Well, I think there's
But,
that
like-
one and the original Mordo from the first Doctor Strange movie. I think there's at least two, like one of each, and you kind of have to like check
Supreme
in.
Mordo, and then like
Earth Mordo,
Mordo?
Illuminati Mordo, and the Mordo that was in the original Doctor Strange movie.
and you have to kind of check in with what he'd been doing his whole,
That is
last
true.
5 years or 10 years or whatever, with the gap in between that Infinity War and Endgame stuff. So there's just so many potential characters. I think this is the perfect time to just jump into the character clash, because a lot of like the other pieces of the trailer kind of involve like, hey, who is what and like why. So I think we're gonna jump into the character clash. I have a list of the confirmed cast that I'm gonna read to you guys right now. We have Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff, obviously.
Yep.
We have
Confirmed
Benedict.
cast.
No, this is like the official confirmed cast from IMDb. This is only 8 real characters that are confirmed.
Gotcha.
So, Elizabeth Olsen is Wanda Maximoff. Benedict Cumberbatch is Dr. Stephen Strange, the original Strange. We have, I don't know how to pronounce her first name, Gomez as America Chavez. We have Rachel McAdams as Dr. Christine Palmer. Michael Stolbarg, who's Dr. Nicodemus West, who's the surgeon who performed surgery on Strange's hands. And he's Nick, as we know him. But he's a character who's going to be in there. We have Mordo, obviously, and Benedict Wong as Wong. Those are the only 7 confirmed, as well as Patrick Stewart. That's him in the chair. We know it's him. He's going to be Professor X.
No, it's not. No, it's
And
not.
he's
It's not
confirmed.
him. I don't believe it at all. I don't buy it.
You are going to believe it when he shows up. He's already done some interviews trying to say that he's not there, and that that could be anyone.
Everyone heard his voice. Like, we should tell him the truth. But is he gonna show up in his wheelchair, or is he gonna show up in his X-Men the animated series wheelchair, the gold one?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Actually,
I think it's going to be the floating gold one.
that'd be
Exactly.
Because
It is.
You
from
don't
what I
really-
hear, it's going to be based off of the X-Men from the 1990s TV show.
Yeah.
Correct.
You also don't see a chair sitting there in the spot that Stephen Strange's head kind of blocks. So
Correct.
it could be floating. So those are the 8 confirmed players in this movie that we're certain are there 100%.
So it's Soshi.
Soshi, really interesting.
Soshi Gomez.
Soshi Gomez, interesting. Okay, good to know. So then we're gonna jump into
Sochiel. Cheel.
Sochiel.
Sochiel Gomez.
Sochiel Gomez, spelled Xochitl. Sochiel. Interesting. Okay. So now we're gonna get into the rumored cast. None of these are confirmed, but I'm gonna say the name, and we're all gonna go through in a circle, sort of, and say yes or no on whether we think they're there. So obviously, we went through those first 8 that are confirmed.
The obvious people, the main people.
Yeah, they're shown in the trailer directly already, or like Professor X, we kind of we know. So then we're gonna get into people that we didn't see in the trailer, but we have very high suspicion on whether or not they'll be in the film. We're gonna start with Bruce Campbell, who is always in Sam Raimi's films. He's been in the entire original Spider-Man trilogy as different roles, and it was very highly rumored that he was Mysterio in that universe. So do we think that he's going to be in this movie? Directed by Sam Raimi.
I can almost guarantee he will be in it.
Yeah, me
what
too.
form he will be in is going to be another story.
Yeah. Do we see him as Mysterio? Do we see him as just some random role? Who knows? You don't think he shows up as Mysterio? That would be crazy.
There's no point. There's no point.
Dude, that'd be
what would
such
be the
a...
point? What would be the other? I mean, obviously, there could be like a Tobey Maguire thing, maybe him fighting each other.
That would
probably
be
yeah.
That would have huge implications over that universe.
That would. There was a Mysterio at Tobey Maguire's universe, but yeah. But I don't see a Mysterio thing here. Maybe, but who knows?
You never know. Okay, so let's jump over to the next one. Sophia DiMartino. She plays Sylvie, and another version of Loki in the Loki TV series. She's rumored to appear as well as Tom Hiddleston. Do we think that duo shows up at all?
Hell no.
I think if they do show up, it's going to be cameo, like post-credit.
I would say it's a post-credit scene of maybe not Sylvie, but I would say more than likely Tom Hiddleston could be a post-credit scene where Doctor Strange and Loki are meeting up, and Loki's trying to explain to him, hey, look, this is who I am, like, this is what's going on. There's this guy, his name is Kang, and trying to explain that, and then that tees up Ant-Man in the quantum realm, and then they'd all show up in that movie or something like that.
I'm gonna have to be the opposite on this one. I don't see them at all making a small cameo or anything like that.
Really? I think that you kind of have to tie this story together because they're the ones who sparked the multiverse.
But like,
you know
not
what
really,
I mean?
though,
like they're the reasons the multiverse is available to be explored. Like it has to.
I mean, that's a fair point. They could be the reason, but don't forget, Strange opened the door, and the multiverse in them.
I mean, he just cast a spell that he wasn't supposed to.
So,
he opened the door to
just
his
reading a little
world.
article.
They opened the door to all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know, but still, they're not the main reason, though. To be honest,
Yes, they are. Strange is the
I was
reason
just
for
reading
this
a little
universe.
article though.
Okay, hit me.
Bruce Campbell was on set
Oh,
for the Multiverse of Madness.
confirmed.
He was in the process of filming his Army of Darkness TV show in London,
Nice. Oh wow.
where they were filming a lot of the Multiverse of Madness stuff.
Okay.
And
He
he
just
was
happened
on
to
set
stop by.
at least for a day.
Oh, he's in it. I think that would mean more. If he's only there for a day, that has to just be some like one-liner kind of role, like he had in Spider-Man.
Or just like a small cameo, pretty much.
I mean, that doesn't mean that he wasn't able to like go in there and do like other things, but he was there for at least a day.
Okay, that's cool. All
But
right.
yes, I do think like if we do see any form of Loki or Sophie, it will be post-credit scene.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm in the maybe on that one, maybe, but I think we might see something different.
I don't
Maybe.
think we're going to see them in like in an official capacity. I don't think we're going to see them until season 2 of Loki, or
as a little post-credit
the
scene.
Ant-Man and Quantumania.
Pretty much, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, that's fair. Let's jump into Wanda's kids, Julian Hillard and Jet Klein as Billy and Tommy Maximoff. Obviously, she's trying to find her family, and that's part of the reason.
Believe we'll see them.
Yeah,
We'll see them. Because I believe she has to go into one of the universe where she sees her own version of herself, and she's with the whole family, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. I think that she obviously is in the house from Westview. I would assume that they show up in that scene, or that she ultimately travels to a universe where they exist, or she brings them back into reality in some form. And that we'll see them at some point. It seems inevitable. Yeah. Okay. Let's jump to some of the lesser confirmed. How about Paul Bettany as Vision? Do we see Vision in this as well? Does she try and bring him back into reality?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Because we have that White Vision version.
We did, but we don't
together.
see. We could probably see maybe a different Vision, in a human form Vision, maybe. I don't know.
I think that if we did see him, he's there with the kids in her recreating it in her mind sort of way. But I don't see a real version of Vision being built, you know, out of her own reality sort of bending ways.
No.
I don't think that's gonna be a thing. How about obviously this is connected to Sam Raimi again, Tobey Maguire. How do we feel about him coming back as Spider-Man? Do we think that could happen? They're exploring the multiverse. Do we see?
They're exploring it, and we see them like on like a little side cameo, him just standing there, or him fighting. Maybe, as you guys said, he could be fighting the Mysterio of that universe.
Yeah, and like they're obviously like sort of doing that. We saw in the trailer the falling through different versions of reality scene. We could literally get like a glimpse of him fighting Mysterio, and it wouldn't even be like a big action fight scene. It's just like a out in the distance sort of thing they're passing by. That could happen. Yeah.
Tobey Maguire, I think, will be in the movie.
Yeah, I think that Sam
More
Raimi,
cameo, but not like a huge major role.
Yeah, I think Sam Raimi has to like get him incorporated somehow. And there's lots of talks right now that they want to include all three Spider-Man in projects going forward. It's heavily rumored, and also like Sony has come out to say that we enjoyed having them back and would love to continue working with them. So they, not that they've said yes, we're going to keep doing it.
Whoa, Corona.
Bless you. Not that they said that they're going to, but like there's a good chance. So
also I did read an article. I think it was either from Comic Book or I think another comic book page. They said that they're saying that Tobey Maguire is confirmed like in the Morpheus universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Morbius.
Yep.
I read that somewhere as well, saying that that Morbius is connected with Maguire.
Yeah, he has that. Like
Maguire, not Garfield.
No. They first said it was with Garfield, and then they switched back to Maguire.
Yeah.
Weird.
So, yep.
Speaking of Morbius, it's been debunked according to this site that we're on, MarvelMoviesFandom.com, that Jared Leto won't be there, that he's not going to be in the film in any capacity. I would say that's probably pretty accurate, that Morbius doesn't really serve a place in Multiverse of Madness. There's no reason
we're not going to see him.
Yeah, including
he's been delayed so much that I think he's just going to fade away.
Yeah, no. So let's jump back up to another sort of, we've seen the what if scheme of this. Haley Atwell as Captain Carter. Now it's kind of rumored that she might be one of those 6 chairs, that she could be part of the Illuminati in this reality. And noting this, I want to also say that if we're not getting the original 6 as the Illuminati, I'm doing another video on this, that like these members of the Illuminati may die and be replaced, and that's why we ultimately get Strange on the council, and that Mordo dies in some form or fashion. That if Captain Carter is there, she would end up dying of the same horrible fate to Wanda. So what do we think about that idea? Yeah, no, we about it? Would we like to see a live version?
So I want to say yes, but I don't think it's going to be. I think we're just going to get like the little like, we saw a picture of like a really strong lady holding a shield and a sword, like, and it was like a statue. I think that's all we're gonna be getting, is like things like that, like little bits of like you have to kind of know.
Yeah, you have to know. Well, the other thing I would like to know is, in the poster, we've seen her shield in one of the fragments, and it's not like, oh, that might be her. It's like clear as day that that's her shield. There's another one that we'll get to in this list of Deadpool that's not as clear, but like this one is like, it's clearly her shield in there. I think that there's a good chance we see her. I don't know if we'll see her on the council. It might be as we're passing through different realities sort of thing, that we see the what if version. We even see a comic book sort of like an animated universe that they're going through in that clip where they're being crunched up or whatever, or sliced up, diced.
It's right before they get diced, so it's right as they're going through the Savage Worlds. They break into another dimension, which is like a cartoon world. And then it shows them going into like what is being referred to as the House of M dimension.
So interesting.
As much as we love to see Captain Carter, I think we're not going to see her on the council, because
that's fair.
I mean, I mean, it could be they could do it if they want to. They have like, oh, look, let's add the female in the council. You know, it's possible.
Interesting.
You know, but I think it's just keep it the original. You know,
If we're getting a Captain Carter and it's confirmed in the poster, and you know, just like it's very likely to happen, do we go to the What If universe and do we see Strange Supreme from What If?
So I actually think the zombie Strange that we see is a tag along from when they go through the What If universe.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. And he follows them through, or the demons that created the zombie infection. Okay. Interesting.
So I think he's like, that's probably a tag along Strange.
Okay.
Like, he follows them through when they're breaking through all these other dimensions, and then that's when the zombie Strange comes through and starts casting his,
Interesting. Okay.
big
Interesting.
magic-y stuff. Because, like, in the What If, we saw the Marvel zombies as a thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Okay, interesting. So, I mean, let's go into some of the other kind of what ifs that are maybe less likely, but still sort of likely. How about?
Are we still going to the character list? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
You're like,
Sorry.
we got more? Yeah, we got more.
Wait, there's more.
So, Simu Liu as Shang-Chi. He's been in close contact with Wong. Wong's in the film. There's a multiversal connection with the rings.
No.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna say there is a very good chance that we see him in like the introduction to Wong, and Wong's like doing that little talk with him at the end of Shang-Chi and gets pulled away by Strange or something like that. I don't know. I think we could see him. I don't know exactly how he'd show up, but his rings have multiversal ties. He could be part of the team that, Doctor Strange puts together.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it happens. I'm gonna say it could.
I know you want everyone to be in it, and everyone to be form a big old team, but it's too much.
Dude,
it's too much.
I know, but like he's already established. We need these ties.
We understand it, but still, it's too much.
I'm just trying to get everybody in the film. You're right. Okay, let's go down to some of the other versions that are somewhat likely. So, Ryan Reynolds,
more or less confirmed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess these are less confirmed.
Because there's a few that are more or less confirmed.
Yeah, those are the ones that are more or less confirmed. I guess other than Shang-Chi, but these
Tom
ones.
Cruise.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't. Oh, I guess I haven't touched on that one. Tom Cruise. This is other members of the Illuminati. Tom Cruise as Superior Iron Man seems very likely. Those Ultron bots just seem to make sense with his storyline as Superior Iron Man. And Tom Cruise has been rumored to want to play that version of Iron Man because you can see his face. And that was one of his things that he was like, I want them to be able to see my face in the suit, and that's literally Superior Iron Man in a sentence. So
yeah, I think we will see him. Yeah. I think we see him like as part of the Illuminati, saying, okay, yep, I am. He's not gonna say he's Tony Stark. He's gonna say I'm Anthony Stark or whatever. Because he's gonna say his full name pretty much.
Yeah. I think that one's pretty likely.
Yep.
Jumping into other members. I mean, Dylan, do you want to say anything about it?
No, I mean, I think we're going to see Tom Cruise as Superior Iron Man.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like that's one of the ways that he keeps the Ultron bots under control, is having the 3 Infinity Stones.
Yep. So, Superior Iron Man, pretty dang likely. There's a version of Captain Marvel that we see. Some people are assuming that is actually Tony with the Infinity Stones, and they're lighting up in certain ways that give that off. I think it's Captain Marvel, and I think it's actually a version of Monica Rambeau.
Yep, Monica Rambeau, pretty much.
So, or even Maria. It could even be Maria Rambeau, the older, the one
I think it's most likely Monica Rambeau, pretty much.
That's fair. It could be either or. You never know.
I think they'll go with Monica.
It's a Rambeau
because Monica needs to have. Yeah, they have to give Monica at least a little bit more things,
Do we think that she might be one of the people on the council?
No.
She's strong enough, obviously, to hold a position
No.
that high, but
She might
Damn.
be. Like, if it's not her, then who, really?
yeah. Because it's like she's there. I mean, when you piece together the frames, that like it looks like they're fighting in that big old courtyard. The windows seem the same. This is me going off of New Rockstar's video where they show you the frame and like the windows as he's like being taken up to the courtroom area, and like then the battle between her and Scarlett, which seems to be in that same setting. So like she's obviously there, present. Maybe she's just like some sentry of theirs that like is there in case.
I don't
attacked,
see her
but-
on the council. As much as I would love to see her and
Interesting. Okay.
Captain Carter there, I don't see them. I think she's just there as like the muscle, pretty much saying, "Hey, take care of
Yeah.
Wanda." You know.
I see her being on the council more than Captain Carter.
Yeah, I agree.
Despite like Captain Carter being super strong, she doesn't have any form of Nexus being power.
Yeah, no.
And where
Correct.
Monica Rambeau does have some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that part, but I don't see her on the council. I agree her, them fighting her and Wanda.
has more likely ability to be on the council than Captain Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If Captain
but,
Carter is even in the movie.
yeah. But yeah,
so
like I
then-
said, not on the council, but in the movie, fighting each other with Wanda.
All right. Yeah. Let's jump to the two potential empty seats on the council that we don't have introductions to characters yet in the MCU at all, being Namor and Black Bolt. Do we see either of them? It doesn't matter who the
We
actor.
technically have an introduction to Black Bolt.
You're right. We also technically have one for Namor, but it's just a reference drop from.
Well, so we have the reference drop for Namor. We actually have a person that played.
Yes, is
Black
that
Bolt.
canon though? Did they? I don't
They
remember.
So it's not canon, but with it being a multiverse, anything's possible now.
That's true. Yeah. You're right.
So like that's how we have Toby and Andrew. Like they are now MCU canon,
Former.
despite not being.
being. Yeah.
So like that means anything's up.
Anything from the
For-
Inhumans universe, including Black Bolt from that universe, could be, and Black Bolt is insanely powerful. So
My whole thing is like with Black Bolt being as powerful as he is, like I don't see him being on that council because regardless of if Wanda shows up or not, like
He
all
would
he has to
shit
do
on
is
her.
say fuck off and he kills her.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how much like power chaos magic has over Black Bolt's voice. Like she might be able to make a shield that's
Yeah.
powerful enough to get past it, but
I have
like
no idea. Yeah, it seems that like what's most
he-
likely to happen is that she obliterates this whole entire Illuminati council, and that we end up getting a version of Illuminati that's stronger, that includes Doctor Strange and probably includes Black Bolt. But it doesn't make sense. Yeah, like he would overpower her seemingly in any
Potentially. I
universe.
mean,
yeah.
we don't see Black Bolt fight too many people and him actually use his power.
Yeah, he's just really overpowered. Like his sonic boom voice is just that crazy. So I don't know if I don't know if we see him on the council. Maybe, I mean, if they do like a post-credit scene, like teeing up a new Illuminati that Doctor Strange is creating, maybe then. But I don't know.
I don't think we see Black Bolt personally.
What about
I think
Namor?
we see Namor. I don't think we see him either. Like
I think that we
Again.
have a better chance of seeing him, though. Don't you think? So
there's probably a better chance of seeing Namor just so they can like,
because he's rumored to be a potential villain for the second Black Panther movie. They teased in Endgame that there was like quakes underneath the water next to Wakanda, and that was like supposed to be a direct reference towards Namor, and teeing up him being upset with Wakandans and that he's going to be the villain. However, I don't know if they introduce him here in the Infinity, in the Illuminati, or if they wait till they do him in that movie.
That would be a weird introduction, to have him like introduced as a hero and then be a villain in the next thing that he shows up in.
Yeah, exactly. But also,
I wouldn't say weird. I mean, people will be like, saying, okay, in this version of him, he's a good guy, but in our real version, our Namor is a total asshole. It's not really that complicated.
Yeah,
he is a total asshole as it is. It's just
I mean,
exactly.
Like,
I mean, to be fair, it's not really that complicated.
But
no,
they've
but
also
like to have a set precedent, like they want to try to keep the characters as close as their like base form as
I get you.
So like to show one as a hero and then have him be the main protagonist in the next movie that's essentially out.
Yep.
I mean, it's not the next movie, but it's like the second to next movie. Like, there's Love and Thunder, and then it's supposed to be Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. And it's also, that's exactly what they did with Kang. So you can't really play that off twice. Whereas, like, He Who Remains was a version of Kang that was really, really good-ish, and controlled, and kept things sort of balanced, and now we're going to see this chaotic, horrible version. You can't do the same sort of thing with Namor, I guess. In that way.
I mean, I guess you can, but I mean, it's like
you don't want to be redundant about it. And Marvel is never redundant like that.
It is, but I think they have no choice but to do it. They have to do it. I mean, saying, all right, this Namor, like I said, this Namor's good, but then in our real MCU version, this Namor is a different type.
Well, I think if we're gonna have Namor in Wakanda Forever, we're gonna see, and he is the villain of it. We'll see some kind of redemption arc from him. So like he's going in and trying to overthrow Wakanda with his Atlanteans, or somehow found a way to bring Atlanta back to the surface, and needing vibranium to do so. And then so that's why he's going into Wakanda to steal the vibranium. And then realizing that doing so is going to like basically do the same thing that happened to his country. So like that's why he stops doing it. And then that's why I don't know, like that we'll have to have some form of Wakanda being Wakanda. But to get the Wakanda Forever, because there's a reason why it's called that.
You're right. Let's talk about the other seat that I actually just kind of skipped over, but I thought I covered. John Krasinski as Reed Richards. Do we think we see him? There's rumored to actually be multiple Mr. Fantastic characters.
Yeah, the original one from the original Fantastic Four, and then John Krasinski, also known as Jim.
Jim from The Office. So I think it's likely that we see John at the very least, because I think that he's going to be playing the MCU version of Reed Richards, or at least that's who they want to cast most likely, because it's so highly requested by fans. However, I don't know if he's the guy who we see on the council, if they're going to kill everybody off. So maybe they do the former actor. What's his name again?
Oh, I can't remember. Let me look it up real quick.
It's the version of Fantastic Four with Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. So I also want to talk about some other characters that we might see that we've seen play other Marvel characters that have moved on to play other sort of characters, so in the same way that Chris Evans has. We might see Quicksilver again. Aaron Taylor Johnson. We could see Evan Peters again as the Quicksilver version that she made up in Westview. Michael B. Jordan could show up as Killmonger or Johnny Storm.
Ian Garfrund.
So maybe that's the version we see on the Illuminati Council. People have said that other versions of the X-Men might be there, that Michael Fassbender might come in as Magneto. There's so many of these potentials.
So many possibilities, potentials, but I don't see none of that happening though. Like, as much as I would love for it to happen, it's gonna be too much stuff.
There's so many of these, so I typed in Reed Richards on Google.
Oh gosh.
And did images.
Yes.
And there's just so many John Krasinski
Yeah.
like pictures as Reed Richards. It's ridiculous.
Oh, I'm just reading also here on this same site that potentially Bruce Campbell could play a white Nick Fury from a different universe. That'd be ridiculous.
I have been reading that he's going to be the disheveled man.
Oh, interesting. Oh, also, people are saying John might play... He initially auditioned for the role of Captain America, but didn't get it. They're saying he could play him. If he's in this movie, he, plays multiple different roles. David Tennant is apparently the number one choice. He played Kilgrave in the Jessica Jones series, which is now on Disney Plus. All those shows have been moved to Disney Plus. They're saying that he's the number one choice for Nightmare for some reason. They're saying that somehow Scarlett Johansson might come back. I don't believe that one necessarily.
Yeah, as a alternate version.
They're saying that Emily Blunt might play. Obviously, she's married to John Krasinski. She might play Sue Storm, but also
that's the rumor, is that if John Krasinski is going to be it's going to be Krasinski as Reed and then Emily Blunt as Susie Storm.
And if they happen to put, and if John was going to play another version and play Captain America, a different version, that she'd also play a different version of Black Widow as well. So that'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Okay. Like if you think about it, that would work. And then
we could.
Charlie Cox is rumored to maybe be back, as well as Ben Affleck being Daredevil. I don't think those are very realistic in this movie. That just seems out there. Let's see who else. People say Brie Larson might be there, which would make sense if it wasn't Monica or Maria as that version of Captain Marvel. I don't necessarily think that she'll be there, especially because I think that's I think that's one of them as Captain Marvel. People are really, really hoping that Hugh Jackman comes back as Wolverine, although other people say it might be Daniel Radcliffe.
I think most likely
I have no idea.
Maybe Hugh Jackman.
Yeah,
I don't see Radcliffe.
Yeah,
maybe Radcliffe if they throw a huge curveball, but I'm sticking with Hugh Jackman on that one.
Something I'd really like to see is they're including characters from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series. So like Ming-Na Wen as Agent May, or like Coulson coming back potentially for some scene or something like that. If they're going through universes or whatnot, or I have no idea how they can incorporate all these things, but that'd be kind of cool to see. Or if they brought in the last we saw of Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is he was chasing after the Darkhold, and they could do what's rumored is Norman Reedus, Daryl from The Walking Dead, would play Johnny Blaze, and they could do, if they're gonna tie in a Ghost Rider or mystic element like that, like they're chasing, like that could be a post-credit scene as like two versions of the Ghost Rider coming after the Darkhold and Wanda has it or something like that, to like tee up these big
that would be pretty cool, but like I don't know. I don't see it.
I don't know either. I don't really think that we'll see them, but again, these could all just be like cameos as we're cycling through all these different universes as they're trying to escape Wanda. So literally any of these could be the same. Like we could see Andrew Garfield and Jamie Foxx battling or something like that, or Jake Gyllenhaal showing up as Mysterio. Like anything is realistic. But like I think we covered most of the ones that like let's talk about Hugh Jackman a little bit. What's our consensus on that? Do we think he comes back after Logan? I know that Patrick Stewart said he was never going to come back, but he is now. It only makes sense that maybe he tags along for that.
I think Patrick Stewart had said that he doesn't want to come back for anything revolving the X-Men. Because he feels like that Professor X story is done.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the same way with like Hugh Jackman. He said he didn't want to come back and play the Wolverine or Logan because his story is done.
Yeah.
Like,
but if it's a different version.
Yeah, I mean, everybody ends up changing their mind when a paycheck is involved.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, I guess it, but like, don't forget, he is Sir Patrick Stewart, though. He is knighted.
Yeah, he is Sir Patrick Stewart.
He doesn't need money per se. Like,
Oh no,
No, I'm sure he's well off, but I mean, it's just like.
No, but I think they probably just say, it is going to involve your character, but it's not going to be X-Men related. But it's like, you're just going to be part of this group of the Illuminati. Your character is part of this group of men.
You are the. I mean, it would definitely make sense for Patrick Stewart to be in because they're the TV show that they're going to be putting out.
Dude,
what are you?
I just thought of the funniest thing. What if it's James McAvoy, but they put Patrick Stewart's voice and he's just fucking lip syncing it?
No, that'd be terrible.
Oh, that'd be so
that'd
funny.
That'd be really terrible. Oh. No, that'd be just terrible. That'd be plain stupid.
Yeah, it would be. But I just thought of it and I just started laughing.
They did kind of say that like in that like leak came out, potential real leak.
Yeah.
Probably not real leak. That McAvoy is going to be in the movie. Mm-hmm. As Patrick Stewart, or not as Patrick, as Professor Xavier, as the younger Xavier. Mm-hmm. So, like,
yeah,
who knows?
No.
Like I said, the whole point of this,
there is another one.
The X-Men class into the MCU.
Yeah.
No, but I don't see it though.
The whole thing about the mutants thing is, if they're gonna follow this sort of House of M story, that I've seen theories that suggest instead of a no more mutants sort of thing, her children are mutants and it's a let there be mutants line, and that's how we get them, because they don't exist in the MCU currently as we know. So something like that could happen and it would follow the House of M story but be a little bit of a twist. I mean that would make a lot of sense, especially with the X-Men 1999 or whatever it's called coming out. 97. Yeah. Then that teases
which
up
is supposed
story.
to be like a continuation of the storyline, but in the MCU.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's not live action. It's animated.
It's animated, but it would make sense, like since that would give them the MCU tie-in.
Yeah, it would allow them to be part of that universe. So. But yeah, the whole point of this character clash is kind of just to speculate and have fun with it, and yeah, it's fun just guessing, honestly, who you think's gonna be there, who you think wouldn't, and what capacity they'll be there. It's fun to just think about it and go off the deep end.
It is.
That's what we did for No Way Home. That's what we're doing for this. Hopefully, there's some other bigger titles. We can maybe do this for Thor: Love and Thunder, who we think may and may not. He's like, dude, I don't want to do this. But we might be able to do
Thor:
that.
Love and Thunder will be interesting because a lot of it's just how many people is Gore
gonna murder.
Yeah, Gore gonna kill.
Yeah.
How many gods Gore gonna kill before they get to?
Yeah, maybe.
And
we'll
I think
do,
a lot of them is just going to be 7 Thors before he gets to our Thor.
Oh God. Yeah, because I think obviously now that the multiverse is opened up, that's kind of what it's going to be about, is him going through trying to like destroy the establishment everywhere. And maybe he has like maybe the multiverse being broken now allows you to use the stones, if we're gonna see Infinity Stones at all. I don't know, maybe the stones are now able to use the space stone to travel to different spaces in different universes. I don't know.
Well,
that's a stretch.
Gore the God Butcher, his whole thing is that he like kills gods from all the dimensions. So like any dimension that has a so-called god in it, he goes and kills them.
Yeah, I don't know a ton of his backstory, which is why I'm just like, I don't know how he gets from universe to universe. But
I mean, say that for another time.
Yeah. One of the big storylines with it is that he kidnaps a Thor.
Ooh.
And then the other Thors have to come in and save that
him,
Thor,
and then he murders him,
and then kill Gore.
Yep.
So,
oh boy. Well,
and I think that's where we get Odin's son and Natalie Portman as the 2 Thors that will go and fight.
Yeah.
But this isn't a Thor Love and Thunder movie.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
But we're gonna do something similar, sort of, or maybe like a who does Gore actually murder sort of video when that gets a little bit closer. We should be. I only mention this because
it's gonna be Zeus.
I only mentioned this
It's gonna be
'cause-
everyone.
Yeah, it's gonna be Zeus, but the trailer for this should be out soonish. Like it's about the same
Maybe.
number of days between the release of the film and when the trailer drops that it has been for like Shang-Chi, Spider-Man No Way Home. Like it's the same amount of like distance in between, like time frame wise. Like 160 days was when the first trailer was dropped for Shang-Chi. Then like for Eternals it was like 130ish, whereas like for Spider-Man No Way Home it was like 116 from the first teaser. So like that's kind of a gauge on where we're at for Love and Thunder. It should be coming out soonish. We'll obviously do a...
Did you almost say Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. No.
I
No,
am looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I just stumbled
Alright,
over
so
words.
anything else before
But,
we
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think that's just about everything.
awesome.
Thank you guys for watching this episode. Hopefully we didn't spoil the movie for you too much. Obviously,
We probably
this
did.
is all rumors, so you don't just take
And
everything
we
with a
all-
grain of
We all
salt.
did speculation stuff and potentially the leaked.
Yeah, the
Like-
potential leaked information that may or may not be real. We don't know.
We didn't even really say too much on what was the potential leak information other than what characters are more or less going to be in the movie. So
Yeah, and it's probably good that we kept it that way. So, but thank you guys for listening and watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you in the next one. Till then, peace.
Adios.
ciao ciao.